The November wind whipped through the streets of Omaha, like a razor honed to an icy edge, carrying the scent of decaying leaves and the chilling promise of a long, hard winter. The sky was a bruised gray, the color of battleship steel, heavy with clouds that had been spitting freezing rain since dawn. The temperature had plummeted to a bone-chilling 29 degrees, and the sidewalks were glazed with a treacherous sheen of ice, making every step a gamble. Near the outskirts of town, Harmony House Children's Shelter stood huddled behind a chain-link fence, its windows clouded with condensation, its paint peeling in ragged strips that the wind clawed at like skeletal fingers. Sarah Lily Thompson pressed her forehead against the frigid glass of her second-floor bedroom window, watching the freezing rain morph into sleet. She was 15, with choppy, self-cut dark hair and eyes that held the weight of too many years. She'd been in the foster system since she was 7, shuffled between 6 different homes before landing at Harmony House 3 years ago. Her worldly possessions fit into a single duffel bag. Her most cherished item was a faded blue blanket, a gift from her mother the night before Child Protective Services arrived. It was the only tangible link to a life that now seemed like a distant, fading dream. Before we continue, if you believe in the enduring power of human kindness, the significance of seemingly insignificant gestures, and the unwavering spirit of standing up for what you believe is right, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. And let us know in the comments where in the world you are watching from. Because stories like this remind us that angels can appear in the most unexpected forms, sometimes wearing leather and riding Harleys. The crash echoed through the night at precisely 7:30. Lily heard it through the thin glass of her window, a horrifying screech of tires, followed by a sickening thud and the grating sound of metal against unforgiving asphalt. She bolted downstairs and out the back door before Ms. Davis, the night supervisor, could even react. The sleet stung her face as she ran across the empty lot behind the shelter, toward the road. A motorcycle lay on its side in the rain-filled ditch, wisps of steam curling up from its injured engine. Next to it, a man was struggling to push himself up from the frozen mud, his leather vest ripped, his face bleeding from a nasty gash above his eye. Even in the dim glow of the distant streetlight, Lily could make out the patches on his back, red and white, the skull and wings insignia, Hell's Angels. Everything in her screamed at her to flee. Every survival instinct honed by 8 years in the foster care system urged her to retreat back inside and pretend she hadn't seen a thing. But the man was trembling so violently from the cold that his teeth were chattering loud enough to be heard from 10 feet away. His lips were turning an ominous shade of blue. Lily ran back to the shelter, not to hide, but to retrieve the only thing she possessed that was worth giving, her mother's blanket. When she returned, the biker had managed to prop himself against the concrete barrier at the edge of the ditch. He regarded her with suspicion, his eyes hard despite the evident pain. His name was Vincent Razor Callahan, 47 years old, a Hell's Angel for 23 years. He had hit a patch of black ice, returning from a remembrance run for a lost brother. His phone had shattered on impact. "You should go back inside, kid," Vincent managed through clenched, chattering teeth. "This is not the kind of trouble you want." Instead of running, Lily cautiously approached and draped her mother's blanket over his broad shoulders. The faded blue fabric seemed impossibly small against his massive frame, but Vincent felt the immediate surge of warmth. "You're freezing," Lily said simply. "This will help until someone comes." Vincent stared at her, this slight girl in a threadbare sweater, standing in the sleet as if it were nothing. He noticed the holes in her sneakers. He saw the way she instinctively hugged herself against the cold, and he understood, implicitly, what she had just done. "This blanket means something to you," he stated. It was not a question. Lily shrugged, her own teeth now beginning to chatter. It was my mom's, but you need it more, right now. Something cracked within Vincent's chest. Something that had nothing to do with the crash. He had witnessed a lot of things in his life. He had seen men die. He had buried brothers, but he had never encountered someone with so little, willing to sacrifice something so precious for a complete stranger who, by all appearances, should terrify her. What's your name, kid? Lily Thompson. I live at the foster home over there. Before Vincent could respond, headlights pierced the darkness on the road. A pickup truck screeched to a halt, and two men jumped out, friends who had been riding ahead and turned back when Vincent didn't catch up. Within minutes, they had hoisted the bike into the truck bed and were helping Vincent into the cab. Vincent turned toward Lily, still wrapped in her mother's blanket. He attempted to hand it back, but she shook her head. "Keep it until you're warm," she said. "You can return it tomorrow." Vincent nodded slowly, his gaze never wavering from her face. "I will do that. Lily Thompson, you have my word." The next afternoon, a deep rumble vibrated through the windows of Harmony House Children's Shelter. Miss Davis dropped her coffee cup with a clatter. The children stampeded to the windows. Outside, motorcycles were lining up along the fence, more than anyone could count. 350 Harleys, their chrome gleaming in defiance of the overcast sky, their riders clad in leather and patches, their faces etched with expressions that made the neighbors across the street lock their doors. Lily's heart skipped a beat. She was terrified they had come for her, that somehow she had done something wrong by helping that man the night before. Then she spotted Vincent striding toward the front gate, her mother's blanket folded neatly in his hands. "Miss Davis," he called out, his voice resonating across the yard, "I'm looking for Lily Thompson. She saved my life last night." What unfolded next would become a legendary tale in Omaha for years to come. The Hells Angels hadn't come merely to return a blanket, they had come to change a life. First came the practicalities. Winter coats for every child in the shelter, boots, gloves, scarves, all brand new. Bags of groceries overflowed the kitchen, enough food to last for months. A new furnace was installed by a contractor who owed the club a favor, replacing the ancient clunker that barely kept the building above 60 degrees. But for Lily, they had something truly special. Vincent's wife, Maria, approached her holding a large envelope. Inside was a fully funded college scholarship fund, waiting for Lily whenever she graduated high school. There was also a letter from a Hells Angels family who wished to foster her, a real family with a house, a dog, and a bedroom that would be solely hers. But first, Vincent presented her with the blanket, her mother's blanket, meticulously cleaned and folded, and nestled inside it was something else. A leather jacket, custom-made to fit her small frame, adorned with a special patch sewn onto the back. It read, "Friend of the family. You gave me everything you had when you had nothing," Vincent Razor Callahan said, his voice rough with emotion. "That's the kind of person our family protects. From now on, Sarah Lily Thompson, you are one of us. You need anything, ever. You call this number a day or night, rain or shine. Family doesn't forget." Lily stood there in the bone-chilling, late autumn air, surrounded by 350 motorcycles, clutching her mother's blue blanket and wearing a heavy leather jacket now, a jacket emblazoned with a patch that meant she would never be truly alone again. Tears froze on her cheeks before they even had a chance to fall. The other kids from Harmony House Children's Shelter watched from the frosty windows, their faces pressed against the cold glass as 350 engines roared in unison, a thunderous, unwavering salute to a 15-year-old girl, a girl who had selflessly given away her only treasure just to help a stranger in need. And before we wrap things up here, we have one very special request for you. Please comment below with the simple words, "Kindness transforms." Show the world that you stand with Lily. Because sometimes, the very smallest act of love, offered freely from the emptiest of hands, can fill an entire lifetime with family, true family. So I gotta ask you, what would you do if you had just one precious thing left in the world and someone else desperately needed it more than you did?